And good evening, race fans. Welcome here as we get ready for knockout qualifying for race number 16 of the second season of the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series. It's a sultry night here in Phoenix as we get ready to go racing in the desert. And we're about to find out what the 42 car starting grid is going to look like for this weekend's race. Jake Baskinger, the All-Star race winner this season, is the first one out on track. Baskinger was a two-time winner last season, but he's yet to go to victory lane in a points-paying race this season. Of course, as I mentioned, won the All-Star race, but that is a non-points event. He is now on the clock. We've had some pretty exciting races in the last couple of weeks, no doubt about that. Defending champion Anthony McCrury going to victory lane 2 weeks ago at Charlotte. Hometown driver Jessica Shelton taking the checkered flag last week at Dover, and for the third weekend in a row, we're going to be racing under the lights, this time at Phoenix. So the night races definitely seems like the nighttime is the right time to have some really good racing. 27.486, the first lap time laid down here in the first heat of the first round of qualifying by the 59 of Jake Baskinger out of Fitzwater, Australia Racing. Benjamin Miles just ahead in the 25. Coming out to start his first time lap, and we'll see if Baskinger being behind the 25, if that helps his lap time or hurts it. 27.372, so about a tenth faster, but Dillon Poteet beats it, 27.355, and then Levi McIntire, 27.337. And Levi McIntire, don't forget, was our pole sitter last week when it came down to him and Emmanuel Hartnett in an unprecedented, never done before round 4 of qualifying, because the two of them tied with the same speed in the third round of qualifying, so it had to be settled between the two of them. And now James Qualls, top of the leaderboard. Well, as soon as I say that, Dillon Poteet back to the top. Here we just saw the 70 of Qualls, looking for that 31 of Dillon Poteet. There he is, the Crosley Chevrolet, former winner this season back at... I had the track in my head and I just lost it. I'll think of it. Don't worry, I'll think of it. Was it Kansas? Might have been Kansas. Right now, he's the only driver that's hit the 26s. Just ahead of him, Trent Dunham is second fastest on the charts. Keep in mind, Kyle Keith made the race last week. He actually had a really good run last week as well. And if his teammates can continue to make their way into the final round of qualifying and get on speed, they're able to give the charter over to their teammate Kyle Keith to make the race. As a matter of fact, Kyle Keith is very, very close to getting into the top 30 in the point standings too, which is definitely what he needs to be able to have that win that he picked up back at Pocono count towards a spot in the chase for the championship. Dillon Poteet, 26.891. I don't think anybody else is going to be able to hit what the lap time he's hit. A couple of other drivers have hit the 26.9s, including Austin Mongold, John Gilbert, Zachary Fitzwater, Trent Dunham, Levi McIntire, and Leon Alvarise, but they're all in the 26.9s. Poteet's the only one that's hit the 26.8 lap time so far, working around Cat Tellier. Less than a minute remaining right now, the bubble spot. Zachary Stoltz sits in the 12th position, just over Jake Baskinger, Stephanie Gardner, and Brandon Gonzales, who, by the way, last week lost the points lead. Kyle Mathews is now the new points leader in the overall standings, and that 12th position keeps getting swapped around. Henderson had it for a moment, now Matthew Dallio's got it. With 30 seconds remaining, now it's Garrett Sydnor that's in the spot. Matthew Dallio now out, 27.050 for Garrett Sydnor. Just ahead of him, Keith Batson in 11th. 15 seconds to go. Henderson tried, but not quite. Batson now is dropped as Dallio jumped up to 11th. Batson down to 12th. Sydnor now eliminated at this point. And now Qualls dropped to 12th. Dallio out, as Sydnor jumped up to 11th. Now James Qualls on the bubble spot. And Poteet just lost the fastest lap, his teammate Trent Dunham, 26.864. And now Henderson in the bubble spot. Qualls eliminated at this point. 5, 4, 3, 2, any shot clock cheeses here? No, but we still got 30 seconds. I don't know if maybe somebody crossed the line, if they've got an opportunity to be able to try and do one more lap. 27.012 for Aaron Henderson is the lap time that has to be beaten. Henderson right now on the cutoff line. And if Trent comes around here, I think that's going to basically do it. I think that's going to be it. Trent Dunham, former winner last season, still looking for his first win this season. That was a fast lap time laid down by that one team.
To your cars.
26.864. Austin Mongol, 26.880. And Dillon Poteet, 26.891. Then the only other drivers to hit the 26s at 26.9s, Leon Alvarise, Fitzwater, Gilbert, Ryan Madden, Keith Batson, Levi McIntire, Benjamin Miles. Garrett Sydnor will make his way into the next round, as well as Aaron Henderson, drivers that at this point, with the fact that there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 non-chartered cars moving to the next round. If only 2 make it into the next round from heat number 2, then the drivers that would officially miss out on this race at this point would be James Qualls, Matthew Dallieu, Zachary Stoltz, Elijah Gordon, Stephanie Gardner, and that might be it. No, and O'Neal Balvin, as well as Seth Cole in the 80. So that's going to be it for this first heat of the first round of qualifying. Trent Dunham, the fastest in this one. Let's find out who's going to join those 12 drivers from Trent Dunham down to Aaron Henderson in the second round of qualifying. So we'll get ready here for heat number 2 of our first round of qualifying. And the first car out, is that Emmanuel Hartnett in the 97? It's exactly who it is. The guy who started on the outside of the front row last week is the first one out here in this second heat. Of course, Emmanuel Hartnett looking for some redemption from last week. Tied with Levi McIntire for the pole position at Darlington. They went to a round 4 shoot-off between the two, and it was Levi McIntire who was able to snatch away the pole position, his second pole of the season. Hartnett still looking for his first pole of season 2. He is on the clock. First lap time will be laid down when he gets around to the stripe. Might not be such a good one, though. He's going to get held up behind the merging Rocco Twyman. I think it was a 27.8 that was laid down in the first session. 27.5 this time, so maybe Hartnett, maybe Rocco Twyman kind of was a little bit of a drafting help there for that lap time. And now everybody's coming on the racetrack. Pichu London just ahead, still looking for his first start of the season. At this point, I believe there are only 2 drivers that have yet to make a start in the Hersheys Cup Series that are currently in the field, and both of them are in this heat. 29 of Pichu London, as well as the 52 of Daniel Olson, who of course is only attempting his second race of the season. Tried to make his debut last week at the track Too Tough to Tame, Darlington Raceway. Cole Baker, top of the leaderboard, and as soon as I say that, John Cittadino now up there in the 83 car out of Fire Ice Racing. Cittadino not too far ahead here, I think. There he is. 27.083. We'll have to see if any drivers hit the 26s. So we had a handful of drivers hit 26.9s, and then 3 drivers hit the 26.8s in the first heat. And Cittadino did not improve his lap time. Well, actually, he did, but Joe Rockingham beat him. And Rockingham's just up ahead there in the 84 car. First driver to hit the 26.9s in this second heat. 26.996, so just barely hit the 26. Lap time. See if he can improve on it this time, and no, he cannot. He was about a tenth slower. Charles Sandfer, talk about barely breaking the 26, 26.999 for the two-time winner. Let's find him. I think I might have gone the wrong way. I think he was just behind the car we were just looking at. And there he is. Oh, and we've got a couple drivers just hit the 26s as well. Michael Norman, 26.940. Cole Baker, the first car hit the 26.8s, 26.818. That might be the fastest lap so far tonight. Nathan Hudson, up to second, 26.877. Maybe with the cars that went out here first, they laid down some rubber, there's more grip for these drivers to be able to lay down faster lap times. I don't know. Just seems like the pace is a little bit quicker here in the second heat than it was in the first. And Hudson, top of the leaderboard, 26.756. Are you kidding me? That is an unprecedented lap for the Attack on Titan Chevrolet. There he is. Couldn't find him. And his teammate Michael Norman just beat that. 26.724. Holy cow, those Michael Norman Motorsports cars are on par. 26.5. No way. We were just barely hitting 26.8s in the first heat. 26.542. Somebody check out the engine on that 7 car. There might be something illegal, because that is the fastest lap time I think I've seen laid down here in a long time at Phoenix. And he just beat it. He just beat it. 26.537. He was about maybe, I think, 100th faster. Holy cow, Nathan Hudson. Tell you what, give a car a charter and there's no telling what it will do. Hudson was really good last week at Darlington, and it looks like he's going to be really good here this week at Phoenix. Meanwhile, the bubble spot being contested with Dallas McIntosh right now in 16th. Hartnett just dropped from 12th to 13th. And now Dougie Shears jumps up to 13th place with 30 seconds to go. McIntosh in the final transfer spot, 26.988. But I don't think anybody's going to have anything for Nathan Hudson. Oh, somebody spun. Somebody spun in turn 1, the entrance to turn 1. Oh, it looked like it was Rocco Twyman in the 19. Tough break for Twyman, but he was 27th fastest anyway. Which means that regardless, he probably wouldn't have made it into the next round of qualifying or made the race. But Nathan Hudson, that lap time, good heavens, 26.537. Michael Norman, 26.724. Those two cars flying around the racetrack tonight. Cole Baker, that's the second straight week he'll make it to the next round of qualifying. Davey Johnson, how about that? Trying to make his, I think it's be his third start of the season if he can make this race. Non-chartered car, John Cittadino. He gets 5th, so he'll move to the next round. Charles Sandfer, Noah Cars. It's been a long time since he moved into the next round. How about Daniel Olson? Trying to put off a John Gilbert back at Martinsville in only a second start, trying to make the race. And he is going to be moving into the next round there in that 52 car. Joe Rockingham will also transfer along with Zach Rogers, John Andrews, and Dallas McIntosh. But here's the big thing. We had 5 non-chartered cars move in from round 1. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 non-chartered cars move into the next round from this heat, which means that more than likely only 5 drivers that are non-chartered cars will move into the main event race, because Kyle Keith, again, a very disappointing showing in the qualifying standings, 22nd. Now, 2 of his teammates did move on to the next round of qualifying, Trent Dunham and Ryan Madden. If they can move in on speed into the third round of qualifying, then Kyle Keith might be able to get a charter. However, that means that those 2 drivers, Madden and Trent Dunham, they're going to have to go up against 12 other non-chartered cars to try and get in on speed in 7 available slots. It's going to be a crazy one, no doubt about that. Drivers at this point that have definitely officially missed out on the race include Dougie Shears, James McLeod, Marie Minobi, Holden Gluba, Kyle Keith is a question mark. Marty Johnson, Jason Haywood, Rocco Twyman, Pichu London, and Johnny Gardner will all miss this week's event. So hang tight. We'll be right back for our second round of qualifying here at Phoenix International Raceway. So here we go. Technically 13 drivers vying for 7 available spots by racing in on speed in this event. Now, the whole thing that's going to happen here is that if Trent Dunham nor Ryan Madden are able to place in the top 7 for the non-chartered cars as far as speed, then Kyle Keith will, for the first time in a number of races, not be making the race. And that's certain that Kyle Keith, especially at this point, does not want to have happen, especially with the fact that he's only about, I think it's like 40-something points out of the 30th position in the standings. He's got a couple of drivers ahead of him in the point standings too that are non-chartered cars, so he has an opportunity to be able to pick up spots each time that he makes a race. So he's really hoping that somebody like his teammate Ryan Madden will be able to lay down a good enough lap time to move into the next round of qualifying and be inside that top 7 in speed. Been kind of a team effort for Sega Motorsport, trying to get that 42 in each and every race. He's gotten a charter from Shaun Gallighan. He's gotten a charter from Trent Dunham. Now it's Ryan Madden's turn to contribute, maybe. Who knows? 27.5, or 450, I should say, for the first lap time for Ryan Madden. Just about 7 1,000ths faster than Joe Rockingham's 457. Boy, having trouble with numbers here. Davey Johnson, top of the leaderboard now, and now Zachary Fitzwater. We're going to see these swaps for the lead in the running order early happening pretty often. It's only when they start getting into the run here that it starts swapping around. 27.1 there for Joe Rockingham. Now there's only 24 cars on track. We had 32 cars on track for each of our heat races. So how soon are we going to hit the 26 lap times, and who's going to be the first one to hit it? So that's the big question. And the answer was just given. Zachary Fitzwater, 26.942. I think it's safe to say you've got to hit the 26s to move into the next round of qualifying. Ryan Madden, 27.092, was close, but no cigar. Here comes Nathan Hudson and Trent Dunham, our two fastest so far. Dunham the fastest in first heat of round 1. Nathan Hudson obviously setting that blistering lap time in the second heat of round 1. Having to deal with traffic here. Joe Rockingham to the inside. And Zachary Fitzwater right now is the fastest car on track there. The Dodge Dart, there he is. This track's kind of similar, I guess, to Rockingham UK in terms of banking. Of course, that's where Fitzwater picked up his win this season so far. 26.844 right now, the lap time to beat. Aaron Henderson about 0.3 off, and now, as soon as I say that, he jumps up to the top of the leaderboard. 26.820. Right now, the situation okay for Kyle Keith. His teammate Ryan Madden, 9th fastest, now drops to 10th. And now he's losing some spots. He just lost one to John Cittadino. He lost one to Zach Rogers. And the reason why that's bad is both those drivers are non-chartered cars. So that means there's 2 non-chartered cars now that have jumped up ahead of Ryan Madden's lap time. Nathan Hudson jumping up there to the 4th position. Certainly nothing like the lap time we saw him lay down earlier with that 26.5. Aaron Henderson, though, has got himself a pretty fast rocket. There he is, the Advocare Ford. Well, if we can get to him, there we go. 26.735 is fastest lap, and his last time around 26.787. As soon as I say that, hey, guess who? Nathan Hudson, 26.734, 1/1000th faster than Aaron Henderson's lap. Got his teammate Michael Norman right behind him. Those two were first and second in speeds in the second heat of the first round of qualifying. Let's see if maybe Hudson can help get his teammate up there. 26.695 now for Nathan Hudson. I think we're looking at our pole sitter. Unless something drastically goes wrong in the final round of qualifying, that has been the class of the field right there, that 7 car. And Ryan Madden just barely hanging on to move into the next round there. He's in 12th place with a 26.969. John Cittadino just on the outside, along with Levi McIntire and Trent Dunham. Oh, Dunham jumped up to 14th, but that's still not good enough. 10 seconds left now for someone to try and dislodge Ryan Madden from moving into the next round, and I have no idea in terms of non-chartered cars who would make it, who wouldn't make it at this point. We'll find out in just a moment. They'll probably all be based here off this round of qualifying. I doubt that 7 non-chartered cars will move into the next round of qualifying, but then again, you never know. The odds, though, are not in favor of it, especially with a number of the drivers we saw up there at the top of the leaderboard, like Nathan Hudson, Zachary Fitzwater, and you see Norman and Madden right now 11th and 12th. So this is probably going to determine what 7 drivers are going to be making the main event. As 0's on the clock, session is complete. Nathan Hudson again for the 2nd time in a round that he's competed in, top
drivers
of the leaderboard.
To your cars.
Aaron Henderson 2nd. He'll transfer into the main event, along with Zachary Fitzwater in 3rd. Garrett Sydnor and Zach Rogers, they'll both be in the Phoenix race as they'll get 4th and 5th. Dillon Poteet got 6th. Benjamin Miles 7th. Joe Rockingham will make the race in 8th. 9th place will make that Davey Johnson in 8th. Joe Rockingham in 9th. And how about this? Ryan Madden will be able to get one of the transfer spots because he was 6th fastest, and John Cittadino will get the final transfer spot into the main event here this weekend. So the 7 drivers that will transfer will be into the main event, that is on speed, will be Aaron Henderson, Garrett Sydnor, Zach Rogers, Davey Johnson, Joe Rockingham, Ryan Madden, and John Cittadino. Madden will get in on speed, and Kyle Keith will be able to make the race using the charter of the 8 car. So drivers that officially will not make the race, that race their way here into the 2nd round of qualifying, will include Austin Mongold, Daniel Olson, Noah Kars, John Andrews, John Gilbert, and Keith Batson. So now it's time to find out who here for the 12 drivers that posted the 12 fastest lap times: Hudson, Henderson, Fitzwater, Sydnor, Rogers, Poteet, Miles, Davey Johnson, Joe Rockingham, Leon Alvarise, Michael Norman, or Ryan Madden, who is going to be starting on the pole position. We will find out. My money's on that 7 car, but we could have a surprise driver in this finisher of qualifying. Keep in mind, Hudson only 1/1000th over Aaron Henderson in this round. So don't go away. Round 3, the final round of qualifying, coming your way right after this. So here we go, getting ready to find out who is going to be starting on the pole for this week's race at Phoenix International Raceway. Nathan Hudson no doubt has been the fastest car, but Aaron Henderson gave him quite a run for his money back in the 2nd round. So we'll see if it comes down between those 2, or could we have somebody else be a factor. Dillon Poteet has been up in the top 6 in speeds in the 2 rounds that he's taken part in. Maybe they can get that car a little bit better and get him situated on the pole position. You never know. It looks like they're going to let this clock run down just a least little bit. Who's going to be the first car off? All 12 drivers have now come out of the garage area and hit the racetrack, and it looks like rookie Davey Johnson will be the first one out, along with another rookie in Zach Rogers. Davey Johnson will make the main event, so all 3 of the William Brock Motorsports cars will be represented here at Phoenix. And the Pilot Flying J number 46 Chevrolet is now on the clock. So let's see what Davey Johnson can do here. Try and be a rookie pole sitter maybe, joining the likes of Stephanie Gardner, O'Neal Baldwin. May get a little bit of help from the draft off the back of the 84 as well here on this lap time. We'll see. As coming off turn number 4, let's see what the lap time is. 27.666. Well, that's an interesting lap time. Zach Rogers, though, he beat it. 27.412 for the Pennzoil Platinum Dodge Dart. And this is the car that I think we're going to have to keep an eye on, is that 7 of Nathan Hudson. He just ran at 27.598. But he has been so strong. You've just got to watch his lap times here in this session. Zach Rogers, 27.161 over fellow Dodge Dart Zachary Fitzwater at 27.2. Hudson, 27.347. He's up to third. Right now, though, fastest car on track would be that 39 car. And he almost beat Zachary Fitzwater, not quite. So now Fitzwater's the fastest car on track. Ryan Madden in the 8, just up ahead. He's raced his way in on speed. He'd love to be able to start on the pole position here. Former winner last season at Talladega Superspeedway. Right now he's the third fastest car on track, just dropped to fourth, Joe Rockingham. And Zach Rogers, he did, he broke it. Got up to the top position over Fitzwater, 26.903. That might be a pretty tough lap time to beat, especially with the fact you've only got 12 cars on track here as opposed to 24 in round 2, 32 in round 1. We'll see if Fitzwater's got anything for him. And this time by, Rogers beat his own lap time, 26.9897. Zach Rogers and that 39 team, they found a lot of speed lately. They qualified well last week at Darlington. Looks like they're en route to maybe starting on the pole position in this one. His teammate Leon Alvarise up there in fourth place. If Alvarise could get up to second, we could have a Bulldog Motorsports front row. At the way things stands right now, it would be Dodge Darts starting first and second. Poteet just jumped up into the 27 flats. 27.095. There's the Crosley Chevrolet. So we can find the 9 of Leon Alvarise. There he is. And quite the shock here in this session. Nathan Hudson, 27.151. He just ran his fastest lap, and he's only 8th fastest in this session. Now dropped to 9th. As Benjamin Miles just jumped up to 5th place. So not the same kind of speed here in the final round of qualifying that we saw in the first 2 rounds out of that car, but you never know what the conditions were that those lap times came about, and maybe they're saving a little something for the race. Talk about saving something, Benjamin Miles. Seems like he keeps saving until the very end of the session, and then he fires his way up into the top 5. He did that in the first round, second round, and now here in the third round, he's up to 4th fastest, 27.044. Was the last lap time he ran, and that was his fastest so far of the session. But right now, Zach Rogers is en route, and lap times are no longer counted. Zach Rogers is officially going to be the pole sitter. He'll be the second rookie pole sitter in a Dodge Dart this season. Stephanie Gardner was a Dodge Dart pole sitter rookie in Infineon. And the session's complete, and Zach Rogers will capture his first pole of the season. And he will start on the front row alongside of Zachary Fitzwater here in the main event at Phoenix. The only 2 drivers here in this final session to hit 26s, let alone 26.8s. Ryan Madden will roll off in 3rd, Benjamin Miles in 4th. Dillon Poteet will be 5th alongside of Leon Alvarise. Joe Rockingham and Davey Johnson will roll off in row 4. Nathan Hudson, Aaron Henderson in row 5. Interesting, those 2 were the top 2 in speeds in round 2. They end up in row 5 for the start of the race. And Garrett Sydnor and Michael Norman will be in row number 6. So Zach Rogers captures his first pole of the season, and he will start on the front row with Fitzwater here in the main event under lights at Phoenix International Raceway. To check out the full starting lineup for the Phoenix race, check down in the description. And we will see you guys for that points race next as we continue on our chase towards the chase for the championship here in the Hersheys Cup Series on the NNSCRA Sports Channel, offline racing at its best.